Good evening, everybody. I hope you are okay. In this occasion, we're going to talk about the second part of further issues in discourse analysis or about discourse analysis. And here we have to consider some semantic concepts that are presented by the author. The author talks about cohesion, and cohesion makes reference to the relationship that is present between the text and the syntax of that text. And also, the author presents the idea of coherence, making reference about coherence as the structure of a given structure, of a given discourse. It makes reference to the cognitive structure implied in language to contribute to the understanding and overall meaning of a specific or a given discourse. From these two concepts, we have certain categories of groups of words or phrases that are described by different authors in different times. First, Halliday in 1976 talks about, Halliday and Hazen together with Hazen talks about discourse markers only. And he makes reference they talk about different categories. They present adversative markers, additive, casual, and temporal markers. Later on in time, this theory is changed or improved by Bruce Fraser, and he presents the idea of pragmatic markers. Inside of pragmatic markers, he makes reference to basic markers, in which we have certain expressions or words as please, or excuse me, or I promise. Also commentary markers, frankly, sincerely. Okay. Also, he makes reference to parallel markers. For example, these parallel markers are the conversational managers because they help conversations to go on or to change according to the different subjects or topics presented in the conversation. These parallel markers are okay, all right, now, well. And as a last category, he talks about discourse markers. And he presents some subcategories that are at certain extent parallels to the ones that had been presented by Halliday in 1976. Fraser does this presentation in 1990 and Halliday in 1976. Fraser makes reference to contrastive markers, for example, but or though, however, elaborative markers like and, likewise, moreover, implicature markers, so for this reason, them, and also temporal markers as soon as, finally, first, secondly. These different perspectives are developed by these authors and are important. These markers are important to be taken into account so communication can take place and discourse can be understood and analyzed. The presence of these markers or of these ideas help the different authors to get to the idea of a strategy and also to the idea of functions. Okay? And strategies, okay, are important to consider, or the way they are used to fulfill different important discourse functions. Okay? The author makes reference to strategy as an attempt on the part of the speaker to reach a given communicative aim. And this aim obviously has to do with the function that the strategy is intended to accomplish or to perform. And here we have to make reference to different authors that presented the concept of strategies or the categories of strategies and functions at different time and how these functions or these concepts were improved among themselves. Jacobson, for example, in 1960, categorize functions as referential, emotive, cognitive, metalinguistic, phatic, and poetic. Some years later, Halliday in 1976 makes reference to three different functions: experiential, interpersonal, and textual. And later on, Gillian Brown and George Jewell in 1983 only encodes, or they only talk about two functions of language as transactional and interactional. As long as more details are developed through the analysis of discourse, these perspectives or these categories may change because context change all the time, and linguists and authors need to focus on the different elements that are part of those contexts to do an exhaustive and a detailed analysis of discourse. Hope you find this helpful.